You can ask any question you want to ask.
Maharaji, before I left to come to see you, a satsangi friend asked me if I would ask you a question in her behalf. May I do that?
With pleasure.
Um, she says, a friend is so ashamed as to have failed to obey the Master's advice, but now she has been given firm resolve to again attend to meditation. Should one meditate again and again during the day until 2.5 hours are done, even if this means sacrificing all else for that day? And 2, can she be reassured of the Master's understanding and forgiveness of her failures?
Sister, I often advise it is a individual planning of the day. We know our obligations, our responsibilities, our commitments of the day, commitments of the life. So we have to regulate our timing. We have to give time to meditation also. We have to look to other responsibilities and obligations also. And only we can decide when to give time to meditation, how much give to time to meditation, and whether to split in 2 sittings or we have sufficient time for 1 sitting. Individually, everyone has to decide. As for our committing mistakes, well, humans are made like that. We falter, we fall. But if we continue doing meditation, His grace is always there. Meditation is the only thing which seeks forgiveness for our follies, for our sins, for our mistakes. Meditation is the cure for all such things.
May I ask a question for myself?
Yes, please.
If you're trying to do Simran, or you're going down the street or something, and all of a sudden you remember, I'd like to do Simran, it seems that the Simran isn't mentally. It seems like it's sometimes in the throat. Even when I'm meditating and I try to do Simran, it doesn't always seem like it's mentally. Can you tell me?
Well, when we are properly sitting in a meditation, then we should try to do Simran mentally, keeping our attention in the forehead, at the back of the eyes. But otherwise, when you are mentally free, doing nothing, you can do Simran. That will help you at the time of proper meditation. Of course, not when you are driving the car or when you are solving some deep mental problem. Of course, your mind can't go to Simran. Whenever you are mentally free, you can occupy that time in Simran.
Thank you, Maharaji.
Maharaji, in the United States, drug addiction has become an epidemic disease that even has affected some satsangis. And I'm wondering why a satsangi or an initiate would fall into a drug addiction after having been on the path.
I think this is rather, I should ask them. Instead that you ask me, I should ask them, after having accepted the path to follow the principle of Santmat, why should they go astray and become victim of drugs? This is the explanation they owe to us, rather than I owe to them.
Maharaji, the consequences of being involved in a drug addiction, if a satsangi should die using drugs, what would that be considered, like suicide or
Well, he's committing suicide. Those who take drugs, they become victim of drugs. They are slowly committing suicides.
And
they are depriving themselves of such a human birth, which their Lord gave for a certain purpose. And they don't try to make use of that purpose. There's nothing but committing suicide.
If an initiate is caught in drug addiction, what would be the how could he overcome that problem, Maharaji?
Well, he should go to some clinic where they help people to come out of this addiction and get himself cured.
Can this be overcome through meditation and just returning to the path?
When he's so addicted to drugs, how can he attend to meditation? His mind won't go there at all. He's always in the influence of drugs, under the mental pressure of drugs.
Thank you, Maharaji.
It's very unfortunate, you see. This addiction is terrible. It is spreading perhaps in all countries. America as usual leads in everything, so they may be leading in this. But unfortunately, this has started in India. It always starts from schools and colleges. And then it spreads. Yes.
Master, a popular movie in the United States now is called The Last Temptation, about Christ. I was wondering, are saints, are perfect masters aware of their destiny even at an early age, even from childhood, or does that come after their initiation?
Well, brother, I have heard, I read an article about time in the Times somewhere, a weekly magazine, about Last Temptation of the Christ, but besides that I know nothing about that movie. I don't know what is the purpose of writing that, making a film of that, and how do they know what Christ was thinking at the time of death? How can they know? It's all imagination. This is the writer's imagination, the director's imagination, I don't know. Because if you rationally try to think and try to know the history of the Romans, when they will punish people, nobody was allowed to go near the person. When the people, the thieves, companions of Christ, as you know, were being nailed, nobody was allowed to go near the body. And what was he thinking at that time? What was he murmuring within himself? And to whom he was addressing? How can a writer today know about his thoughts? People present there, you know, he had only 12 disciples who were concerned about him. Even Peter denied him. One betrayed him, other hid themselves, frightened of Romans. So only one lady decided, Madonna probably went to the cross to see what was going on. So how can people know today what were his last words, what was he thinking in the end? And they say he was thinking about some woman, about this and that. You see, that was the article, something about that. I don't know. I have not seen the picture, but it's very, if somebody has made that picture, it must be in a bad taste.
My biggest concern and biggest question is, are perfect masters aware of the fact that they are going to become perfect masters? Even as a child, do they know that even before initiation?
No. As a child, they may not know at all.
Maharaji, you told us in meditation we should think that you are in the darkness with us. Is this desire to feel you there in the darkness with us, is this desire permitted?
What do you mean by committed?
Permitted, allowed, because desires, normally we should get rid of our desires, but the desire to
You want to get rid of the desire to go back to the God even?
No,
Then?
you.
Desires which pull us back to the creation, not which pull us up towards the Father. Yes.
Maharji, could I go back to the brother's question about drug addiction? What does karma play in it, and how does limited or no free will come into the question of whether one becomes addicted to drugs or not?
Sister, we have limited free will, conditioned free will, not absolute free will.
So do these drug addicts have any say in whether they become addicted or not, or is it not their karma?
But anyway, their condition is very pitiable. They are wasting their life.
But do they have any control? That much control?
Before they started, they had. But once they become victim, they don't have. But I say, why start that at all? They just come, try it as a fun,
It could not be part of their karma that they should
and
try
then they
it.
become victim to it. Same way smoking. They start as a fun, as a company, and then they become victim to smoking. They find it difficult to get rid of it, habit.
But could not that be part of the karma that they have to go through?
Karma is absolutely another thing. That way, if you go on analyzing, it will lead you nowhere.
Thank you, Master.
Maharaji, I have a question on behalf of this lady. She says, I am very emotional and I cry very, very easily. When I hear something sad or something happy, I go in tears, I cry. How can I overcome it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What it is? How can I overcome it?
Sister, what is wrong about it?
That others they make fun of her.
Why should she bother about others? You see, sometimes heart is so soft, so compassionate, that it cannot bear people suffering. So automatically we start shedding tears. Not that we are attached to them, but this is a human sympathy which comes from within. And the expression is by tears, which we can't control. You find a dog struggling for life on the roadside. You just take pity on that dog, and you become emotionally upset and start shedding tears. Not that you are attached to the dog, you never knew the dog even. So it's a human sympathy. The heart is very compassionate, very soft. Nothing wrong with it.
Thank you.
Maharaji,
Yes,
before the inner master is reached by the disciple during meditation, is there something being done by the inner master to bring the disciple within? Or is it just the meditation and waiting for the clouds of karma to go away and all that? Is there any kind of attractive pull?
I'm not following your question.
Initiation, we're given the master plants the radiant form.
Yes.
So what is the function of the radiant master before the disciple has reached that place?
You have to reach that level of consciousness where you can find your inner master within. Inner master is always there. But you have to reach to that level of consciousness where you can see him at your own will.
And what is the difference between the inner master, the radiant form, and the outer master?
Same thing. Inner master, radiant form is same thing. There's no difference.
Is there a difference between the radiant form and the physical body of the master?
Naturally, that is not the flesh. This is the flesh.
Is the radiant form in the same, would it be if the person's master, would it have the same face?
Unless you have not seen the outside master, how can you recognize that inner master? How do you know what he looks like? Any entity can deceive you. can put you astray. Since you know the outside master, you have seen the outside master, so nobody can deceive you within. So you will at once recognize your own master. Christ said that my sheep recognize my whistle and they come running to me. We at once recognize our own master because we have seen him outside.
Thank you.
Maharaji, when we feel our everyday worldly life to be futile and meaningless, how can we obtain the grace to accept this state of absurdity as the will of the Father?
Well, sister, question is, what is the will of the Father? What is your concept of the will of the Father?
I don't know.
Then the question becomes meaningless. You see, Father doesn't write indiscriminately what we should do or what we should not do. This is our own destiny which we have to go through. We are the master of our own destiny. We have done those karmas for which we are paying today during this lifespan.
Does that account for the state of absurdity in our worldly life, this feeling of absurdity?
This what we are going through during this life, to go through without losing your balance, without not being attached to anything at all, this is the will of the Father. To go through your destiny, smilingly. These are our own karmas which we have committed. We can't run away from them. You call it resignation to the Father, living in the will of the Father, or paying your karma smilingly. They are just terms to explain.
Thank you.
Master, I read in a book that the person that keeps the company of saints can get rid of an awful lot of karma. I can't remember the exact amount. Does this mean that the company of saints on this earth, or the company of saints within when you ascend through the eye center?
Outside.
Outside.
Because you are always influenced by the company you keep. That doesn't mean just a company will wash away all your karma. That's wrong concept. Company of a mistake will influence you towards the Father. It will influence you to attend to your meditation. It will help you that you grow in your meditation. And that will wash your karmas.
That means we should be with you all the time, Master.
I mean, you can't get off your, your effort to put for meditation. No shortcut.
Thank you.
Maharaji, a few days ago you answered a question, I think, about death. And you had said that even though we hadn't made much spiritual progress, as long as we had no attachments, we would be taken inside to the spiritual mansions and given an opportunity to make progress from there.
That's right, sister.
Could you tell me, what is it like in those mansions? Do we sit in bliss all the time, or is it another astral form of life on this planet?
No, sister. There's no life like that. You are only in tune with the Shabad within, or with your master within.
So the master is there all the time?
To some extent, definitely.
And how is it when...
But generally, it is always in our interest to take a birth and then to make a progress. We make much better progress as humans than in those mansions. Progress in those mansions is very, very slow. And we can clear much more karmas more rapidly in a human birth while we are in the flesh.
Can we stay in there for hundreds of years? Is it that long?
Well, there's no question of time and space there.
Maharaji, do we have a choice when we die?
No, you have no choice. It is for the Master, the Lord, to see what is best for us. If we are easily attracted towards the creation, towards the object and faces of the creation, then we may not be brought back to the creation. Then it's better for us to be there and make progress slowly and slowly upwards. If we have developed a very strong will in our last birth, and we are not easily attracted by the surroundings, then we are given a new birth to make further and rapid progress.
Could I ask you to help me make the most of the opportunity I have in this birth, please?
Lord is always there to help us.
Thank you.
Maharaji, I'd like to put a proposal before you for your consideration, just for your consideration. As you very well know, we all like to look at you as much as possible, and we all like to have a close look at you. So I was thinking that it wouldn't take very long if we could just go by in front of you, single file, and just give you a nod. It would be a real treasure for us.
Are you a little short-sighted?
I am. I'm a little short-sighted.
That is why you are taking classes.
Exactly.
Then why bother?
Why bother? It's just lovely to have that to take home with you. That close look.
Sister, your real master is within you.
Yes, sir.
You must endeavor to go back to your own master,
Yes.
where there is no separation. Otherwise, one has to separate, and one has to face the separation and the suffering.
I understand.
So even if you look for 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, then what? But what about the 2nd minute and 3rd minute and 4th minute?
Well, of course, that would be very nice, but
It will rather sharpen the separation.
I understand that. But it certainly would be nice, just a real gift.
That is why I am sitting here.
I know. Radha Swami, and thank you for everything.
Master, when you initiated us, it became our destiny to one day be merged with you, to be released. And that release will come about, we hear, only through meditation. Does it also mean that we are destined to meditate? If we are destined to be released, are we also destined to meditate? Will the Lord make us meditate?
Sister, I hope you are a little acquainted with the Bible, New Testament. Christ says, only those souls come to the Master who are marked by the Father, who are allotted by the Father to the mistake. The marking or the allotment is done by the Father. And what is that allotment? That so and so soul has to go in the company of certain mistake, who has to put him on the path, and the soul has to attend to the meditation. The soul will be given that opportunity and those facilities and that environment in which the soul can build its meditation, so that the soul is ready to go back to the Father. Without His grace, nothing can happen. If His marking is not there, we can do nothing.
So because we are marked, we are destined for His grace.
So sooner or later we have got to go back to the Father. Otherwise, why should He mark us?
That makes me very happy. Thank you.
Since He has marked us, so it means He wants to pull us back to Him. Now is the question of accounting for our karmic relationships. Sooner we go through, the better it is. Sooner we wash those karmas from the soul, better it is. But soul has got to back to the Father.
Thank you. Maharaji, this morning in satsang you said, if thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. What is it to have a single eye?
Single eye means third eye. You see, the idea is that if when we are able to withdraw our consciousness here behind these two eyes, then we see nothing but light. There is no particular eye there. People wrongly think perhaps some eye is opened there. There is no eye there at all. Some mystics have explained it as a window. A window is opened there. Matlab, your consciousness come to that level of concentration where you start seeing light within yourself. Since eye has association for seeing light, so we call it third eye. These two eyes see outside and that faculty sees inside, so we call it third eye. Otherwise there is no particular eye there. There is only a faculty to see. And there is nothing but light here, but it is our mind. When it is there, it sees that light. When it is down, it sees that darkness. So when we are able to concentrate at the eye center, we see that light. Our whole body is full of light. We see nothing but light. But when our consciousness is separated to the whole creation, we see nothing but darkness within ourselves. That is what every mystic has tried to explain. I was also just corroborating Guru Nanak's saying by Christ and by other mystics, that everybody says the same thing.
And you also encourage us, you said open yourself. What does this mean, open?
What do you mean by open yourself? I didn't say open yourself.
Not this morning, but you said it on occasion, open yourself. Meditation is nothing but opening yourself.
No, know thyself. Not open yourself, know thyself. Unless we know ourselves, we are not in a position to know the Lord. What is knowing thyself? Going beyond the realm of mind and Maya. Getting the soul released from the clutches of the mind. This was also part of the Shabad in the morning. There are so many coverings on the soul, of karmas, of mind. So when they are all removed, then we know ourselves. And then we are in a position to know the Lord, not otherwise. Needle is always attracted towards the magnet. But if you put a weight over the needle, it becomes helpless. Soul is always yearning to go back to the Father. It is full with love and devotion for the Father. Soul has no other interest in this world. Soul doesn't care for anything, any part of the creation. It's only the mind which is separated into the creation. Soul is always yearning back to the Father. But this is the mind. Weight of the mind is so much on the soul, the soul is helpless. So we have to remove that weight from the soul. Then the soul automatically goes back to the Father.
And in 7 days at least our bodies will be away from you.
Pardon?
In a few days, 7 days we'll be away from you physically. How when your grace gets us up to meditate in the morning, in the dark hours before dawn, how do we know that you're there if you're not there?
Well, you attend to meditation. That is the main thing. When you are in meditation, you are with the Master.
Even if we're not conscious of it?
Whether you are or not, that is immaterial. If you are remembering somebody, he cannot be unconscious of it. Meditation is nothing but remembering the Lord. Soul is crying and yearning for the Lord. That is meditation. And Lord is not unconscious of what the soul is doing.
And the first thing, Maharaji, to fix the gaze, and then the second thing, the Simran? Is this the first thing to be up here?
What do you mean by fix the gaze?
Well, sometimes one can do Simran, but it seems very scattered. But sometimes it seems like if one first is to fix the gaze...
it has to be done simultaneously. Both faculties have to be occupied. Faculty to see, faculty to think, and faculty to see. Faculty to think is to be occupied by Simran. Faculty to visualize is to be occupied by Dhyan. Both have to go simultaneously.
Radhaswami Maharaji, we're taught that at initiation, the soul of the master is connected to the soul of the disciple, and that the radiant form of the master is placed within the disciple. Does this actually happen at initiation, or does it happen long before, when the soul is marked?
Sister, actually Shabad is already within every one of us. But tendency of the soul has become downward and outward due to the pull of the mind. Now you know the process of drawing back your consciousness to the eye center and be in touch with that source of Shabad there at the eye center.
Thank you.
Shabad is already there.
Yeah.
Whether you are initiated or not, it is already there.
Another thing about the soul, it's not really a Sant-Mat question, but it's something that I don't understand, is if you have I understand a soul enters, say when a child is conceived, and it stays with a person while he grows until he dies and then leaves that body. It's always confused me about plants that, I've always understood a plant has a soul, say a tree has one soul. But there are certain plants that divide. Now, does the soul split, or what is the nature of the soul?
Well, this is a very complicated thing to understand. He knows best whether the soul splits or soul has given further children. One soul creates many souls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another thing about the soul, what actually happens to a person's soul if they are in a coma?
In a karma?
A coma, where they become unconscious.
I have not followed your question. Coma.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
You see, soul is there in the body. Soul is there in the body, and soul is quite conscious. But the soul, you see, you may not be able to speak.
Is it the mind that is unconscious, but
yes,
the soul is...
mind is unconscious.
Right. Okay.
Soul is all right.
Yeah. And last thing, Master, I would just like to say thank you very much for laughing with us in these meetings. It's really wonderful.
But what is there to make a miserable face?
That's lovely. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Mataji, she's a seeker and she wants to know how can she know that this is the truth path. She says that there are a lot of religions and a lot of gurus in this world.
Well, sister, I can only give one advice to her. Actually, it is for her to investigate, not for me to suggest. She should not follow any path, any teacher, unless there is a strong pull from within, and the pull she cannot resist. Even her whole life is spent in investigating. Yeah. It is not time lost, it is time gained. She will be building on a rock, not on a sand. She should not jump on any path eyes closed. She must make a thorough investigation of everything before following the path.
Okay. Thank you.
And one should sufficiently give sufficient opportunity to one's own self to understand the path, and to yourself whether you'll be able to follow it or not. One should never hurry for anything.
Thank you.
Maharaji, I have a question about spiritual letters. When the book, Spiritual Letters, that you allowed to be published from Babaji to, who is it, the two preceding masters, that when I read the book, I like to imagine that, though I know I'm very unworthy to compare myself to a future master, I like to shed my identity as the imperfect person I am and imagine that I'm the person who's receiving those letters and that it's my soul that those letters are being addressed to. But recently I heard a tape by Professor Bhatnagar in which he scolded us, I know very lovingly and with good reason, saying that we should never confuse ourselves with the Master and think that those letters were written to us, and that we should think that...
No, Professor Bhatnagar is something different meaning. He has different meaning.
I see.
You see, it becomes natural. When we read any letter, we always try to interpret that letter on ourselves. That how does it affect me? And we create equation with that letter. And then we are naturally affected by that letter on a personal level. It is not only information, but we are also influenced on a personal level by that letter. It is natural.
I thought that maybe Professor's objection was that because the Master's telling the future Master that what meditation will you do? I've done everything for you already, that we might become even...
There's nothing written like that in any letter.
Oh, there isn't? Oh, I'll have to ask you in another session.
You see, actually, the spiritual letters, part first, the real beauty is in the local language in which they are written. And it is only a very little gist which has been published for the information of foreigners.
I see.
And they don't convey the right expression and the right beauty, I will say, of those letters. I have advised my publication committee to retranslate them.
Oh, good.
All the letters.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Maharaji, I have two questions. The first question is, on what does our receptivity depend?
It depends upon you, how much you are receptive, how much you are prepared, how much we have cleaned the vessel. If it is raining, now it depends upon you, how much you have cleaned your vessel to retain that water. The water, of course, comes very pure. But if there is already dirt in that cup, that water will become dirty in the cup. If there is no dirt in the cup, the water will be absolutely pure in that cup. So it depends upon how much receptive we are to the grace. Whether we have been able to clean our heart, whether there is a longing to go back to the Father, whether there is a pull within us to go back to the Father. These are the things which makes us receptive to His grace. Whether we are sincere with ourselves, whether we are putting all our efforts to achieve our destination, they make us receptive. His grace is always coming. And if we are receptive, then it will be filled with that nectar. Otherwise, you see that water also become dirty in the cup.
So what can the disciple do to clean the vessel? Just meditate.
Simran, Dhyan and Shabad. That makes us receptive also. And to be steadfast on the principles of Santmat. That is the foundation on which we have to build our meditation, build our treasures in heaven. Foundation is very essential. You can't build on a weak foundation.
May I ask you another question?
Please.
Shortly after I was initiated, I wrote you a letter, and I expressed in the letter that I was afraid to meditate. Afraid of the going within, and you said that, there's nothing to fear, that the Master is inside, and I feel that even that I still have some fear in it. I'm ashamed.
Sister,
it shows my lack of faith.
Generally, we are frightened of, of unknown thing. Where are we going? In the darkness. We may not be led somewhere to unknown place, to unknown people within. That fear is there. That is also a lack of faith in the Master, that he won't be able to guide us within. There's nothing to harm us within. nothing to harm us. This is only our mind which creates all sorts of fear, all sorts of doubt, so that we may not progress within.
I would like to have this faith.
Attend to meditation. That automatically builds that faith. It creates the faith. The faith grows and grows and grows. Strengthens the faith. Meditation is the remedy for all the diseases.
Thank you.
Holy Master, I subscribe to a magazine called The Path of Love. In every issue, there is a prayer, a daily prayer, wherein seekers and satsangis confess that they have no virtue, no devotion, that their actions are all dark and sinful. They possess no merits, and that the mind has thoroughly crushed us. It is a prayer of confession, Master, and we have lost certain virtues, and I'm asking if Simran and meditation would restore those virtues.
Well, sister, meditation is just like bringing a cream on the milk. It brings all the good qualities of life on the surface. One who's sincere about meditation and attends to his prayer within himself, attends to meditation, all these qualities come like a cream on the milk.
Thank you, Master.
You don't have to acquire that I have left telling lies and I don't like to cheat anybody. These automatically qualities come in everybody. Just
Thank
by
you,
meditation.
Master.
Yes?
Maharaji, the term clinical death, could you please explain to me, does the soul actually leave the body?
Sister, no. Soul is in the body.
It is?
Yes.
Until the moment that that person is unplugged, as it were, from the machine?
Yes.
And that is the moment the soul leaves?
When the soul leaves the body, then it finishes.
Aha. May I ask you something else, please?
Yes.
Is there any way that we can know whether our karmic association, particularly with our families, is over? Or can we only know that when we reach the Master?
Sister, in what way you want to know? Everybody always knows how much one is attached to our family people.
Uh-huh.
There is no calculation by which you can find out how much I am attached to my daughter, how much I am attached to my son or grandchildren. There is no calculation by which you can come to any conclusion. But you always feel within yourself how much you are slowly and slowly getting detached from everybody.
Yes.
You yourself will know it. Nobody else can be able to tell you.
So you feel no attachment to, say, a parent who has passed on, and you have no desire to be reunited with that soul. You could hope then that that karmic attachment has been settled. Is that what you're telling me?
We should not try to think about the past one. They have played their part, they played well.
Uh-huh.
And now they are on their own journey.
Yes.
Now we have to play our part and play well. And wait for our turn to leave, to quit.
Yes.
All these attachments by meditation just fade out, slowly and slowly.
I understand. Thank you, Master.
Radhaswami Maharaji. First I want to thank to all Sevadas who are looking for comfort here. And I want to ask you a question in behalf of my husband. Is it possible?
Yes, please, ask any number.
As Guru Nanak says, only he can meet with the Lord and only he can meditate to whom he himself wants. efforts could make only when God Himself wants. As I want to do meditate, I try also, but every time it will happen, something like laziness, tired, or something else. Why He give not effort in my case when it all is in His hand? Why He did not want that I can meet Him in this birth? I do not want to born again, and also do not want to sit under fifth region.
Sister, this is right. We can only even think of Father. We can only meditate, pray to Him when He wants us to pray, when He wants us to meditate. Without His grace, we can never meditate on Him at all. As I discussed just a few minutes ago, allotment is done by Him, marking is done by Him. Only those souls will yearn to go back to Him whom He has marked. Without His marking, nobody thinks about the Father even. Why He doesn't do it, He knows best. If He has marked, He is bound to pull us, bound to call us. But everybody's karma is different. We can't compare ourselves with everybody. Christ said, there are 100 sheep, one shepherd. If one sheep goes astray from the herd, shepherd has to run after one sheep and even physically bring that sheep back to the fold. Because shepherd is responsible for all the sheep to the landlord. Landlord is the father. Master is the shepherd. Sheep are the souls. So those allotted souls to a particular master, he becomes responsible for all those souls to bring them into one fold and hand over to the Lord, whom they belong. They belong to Him. They don't belong to Master. They have only been allotted to Him to take care of. So when He wants us to go back, He will give us opportunity, facility, environments, certain atmospheres, certain surroundings, certain pull within, certain grace. Automatically everything starts shaping in its own way, and we find ourselves moving in that direction.
Thank you, Maharaji. I want to give you best wishes for your health.
Thank you. Thank you.
Master, there's something that I need to ask you. It always comes up as kind of a high anxiety for me when we start talking about another birth or the mansions inside. When we come on the path, when Master brings us to the path, the goal becomes focused for us, and as we travel on the path, the desire to go back to the Father becomes stronger naturally. And there's always that anxiety for me right under the surface of having that goal, that strong goal there, and wanting it, but then maybe at the time of death, I haven't achieved it, hasn't been achieved, and I'm wondering, would you tell me if there's ever disappointment, even though one through the Lord's mercy may have worked to their best of their ability in a particular lifetime, whether there's a disappointment in not having been able to achieve the purpose of life?
Brother, the desire we have to go back to the Father, and if that desire grows and grows within us, that desire automatically will pull us back to the Father. If we have desire to come back to the creation, it makes such a groove on our mind that it brings us back to the creation. So we shouldn't try to analyze ourselves too much, whether there's a disappointment in meditation, whether there's a progress in meditation. Our duty is to do the meditation. And then it is for him, and he is not conscious what he is supposed to do. So we should lead everything to him.
Maharaji?
Yes.
Yesterday, you said that the way to detach the mind from the sense pleasures was to give it a better pleasure, to withdraw the attention to the eye center and to attach it to the shab within. It's also been said that the shab is the purest of the pure and will not touch anything that is even slightly soiled, that is any attachment to the sense pleasures. Could you explain the seeming paradox of those two questions?
I'm not...
Well, on one hand, in order to detach yourself from the sense pleasures, you have to attach yourself to the shab within.
Yes.
But the shab will not touch someone that is attached to the sense pleasures.
So Shabad means Shabad is absolutely pure. And when you attach yourself to the Shabad, you automatically becomes pure. You have seen so many small streams falling into the sea. And when they fall into the sea, they become sea water, absolutely pure water. No matter how dirty those streams may be, once they go to the sea, they become part of the sea. They all become pure. Where is that impurity left then? Shabad is just like a sandstone. You take a rusted knife, rub it on the sandstone, it shines. So similarly, when we rub against that Shabad within, our mind is rubbed against that Shabad within, it becomes pure. It shines. All impurities are taken away by Shabad.
What does it mean that the shab will not touch anything that is unpure and dirty at all?
What do you mean by not touch? I mean Shabad itself is very pure. Even impure things, when touches it, that thing, impure things will become pure. Shabad is not impure. Shabad is absolutely pure. Water in the sea is absolutely pure. No matter how impure water you throw into the sea, it will become pure.
Thank you.
Maharaji, how much influence does a mother's thoughts and actions have on the soul of a child when it is in the womb?
Sister, these philosophers say lot. Because generally child is influenced by the mother's behavior, mother's food, diet habits, and so many other things you see, her way of thinking in life. That is what Indian traditions are, Indian way of thinking are. I don't know about the European way. But it generally believes in India that when a woman is in a family way, so her thinking does affect the child in the womb.
How much of that relates to the fact that we are just vehicles and that they are choosing their own karma by incarnating into us?
According to the karma, you will be having all those atmosphere, otherwise you won't have that.
Okay.
If it is in the child's karma, then only mother will think such good things. Otherwise, mother won't think about such good things at all.
Okay. And also, how much benefit can a person who's not a satsangi obtain from meditation?
You mean...
I'm not initiated, but I meditate and I just...
It depends upon what meditation you are doing.
Well, that's another question. What is it? If I'm not drawn right now to a certain master, is there something that I can focus on until I feel that pull towards one particular master?
You should ask the other master then.
Okay.
Whosoever put you on the path, you should ask him what advantage you are going to get out of it.
Okay.
I don't know what you do, so what I can say.
Okay. Thank you.
First, I would like to thank you. And second, during the day, when I can't make Simran, but when I can think of my Shabd master and I talk to him, is this also good?
It is?
Is this also good?
Whenever your mind is free, keep it in Simran.
Okay.
Any time you will keep to yourself in Simran is to your credit.
And when I only think of you or talk to you inside,
Then
is this bad?
nothing bad in it. Nothing bad.
And then I have a request. Would it be possible to have just once, instead of question and answer, just darshan, like we had in the Dera? Only darshan.
Well, you can have darshan and close your ears. Automatically you will have darshan.
Yeah, but it's not so easy, Master.
Why? I mean, you have eyes and ears. Darshan means only eyes. And here you have both faculties. Close one, the other will remain open.
No, it doesn't work, then I fall asleep always.
Then you fall asleep.
Yes.
Then enjoy it. Why worry?
I don't have to have a bad conscience,
There's nothing about bad conscience.
and it goes also a little bit to my credit.
Body needs sleep also and enjoy it. Why worry?
Thank you. Radha Swami.
Master, when a child is naughty or it does something good, then the mother either punishes or rewards the child then and there, so that the child knows why it's being rewarded or why it's being punished. And if the child did something and the mother took a month before it punished or rewarded the child, we would think that this is unjust. But with karma, we pay for our karmas in another lifetime. We are a different person, we have a different personality, we don't know the reason why we're being rewarded or punished. Is this not unjust that karma should work that way?
Brother, karmas automatically take their shape. You don't have to know them. You don't have to analyze them. They automatically take their own shape.
Will people just automatically learn without being really conscious of the reasons why they're being punished or rewarded? Will the soul remember and improve that way?
Soul doesn't remember anything of the past. Soul doesn't remember anything of the past life. But karma takes their own shape. They automatically are being, gone through. You cannot know that now I am weeping, why I am weeping, what I did in my last life. Now I am laughing, why I laugh, what I did in my last life. You cannot analyze karma like that.
Another question, do we only go through a set amount of karma that has been proportioned out for us for that lifetime, or does Master ever try to make us go through as much karma as possible in one lifetime?
No. You see, our karmas are interconnected. Our karmas are not just individual. If Master interferes with one person's karma, it has to affect with 100 people. We are affected with our parents, our brother, sister, our friends, our doctor, our nurses, so many people. If disciple's karma is to be expedited, supposing he has to meet an accident is avoided by the Lord's grace, then what about the other people who was to be affected? Parents have to run to the hospital and doctor was to attend, nurse was to attend, medicine has to be bought, people were to bring flowers to him, and so many other things has to happen, according to that accident. What about that now? That can't be put stop to all that. So our karma is just in a chain. See, we are interconnected with each other. So we cannot expedite our karmas at all. We have to go through them. We can only expedite our karmas, sinchit karmas, store of karmas, by meditation. Not the destiny, not the present living karmas.
From the foreigners, we would like to greatly thank you for the beautiful new facilities, restroom facilities at Chatapur. It's very, very nice. I think that everyone appreciates it.
You're most welcome. You see, you don't have to thank anyone because the institution belongs to all of you. I told many times, even in the last group, the Dera or the Satsang or this institution belong to all Satsangis. So you are the host and you are the guest. I don't know who thanks whom.
Thank
you. So you have just to cooperate and help each other.
Master?
Yes, please.
should a disciple be obsessed with their master? And if they are, what's the best way to do that in a good way so that it's not doing something that's offensive, like the way people grab at you sometimes, or they rush after you, or do things like that?
By meditation. Obsess your master by meditation. That will be better. That is more graceful.